Well, it's that time of year again. Got the robe out. Am I going to be wearing it 24/7 now, from now on? Maybe. Anyways, it's a chilly day. You hear some funny noises. It's probably the rain on my loud roof of my driving home on wheels. I sat down just a few moments ago after work today, realizing that yesterday is usually the day that I film my weekly reset, or even the day before. Actually, usually the day before, because then I post it on yesterday, which is a Tuesday. And I totally forgot about that yesterday and Monday, because that whole Monday off work just totally threw me off. And so here we are, sitting down, wondering what in the world is what do I need to do this week? Where do I need to go this week? What is happening this week? I need to figure that out. Hey, my name is Darz. Welcome here on this channel. We are challenging the comfort zone, learning and growing. And I have seen comments recently that people like, where's your kids? Where's your husband? Where's your family? What are you doing? I missed something. And to that I say, watch my old videos. Just kidding. No, but just a quick recap in case you missed it. Yes, I am divorced and currently on my own in my driving home on wheels, which I just purchased, and trying to figure out life until my kids come back, which is gonna be soon. The time is passing so fast. Anyways, last week I had some things that I needed to do, which, hey, I checked some stuff off my list. I figured out my fridge, which is on now. I figured out my furnace, which is running right now because it's so cold. I figured out my water pump. I figured out what was the last thing? Oh, I had to jump my rig. I'm calling it my rig, my home on wheels, because I left the headlights on. So smart. There's no dinger on this old thing to tell you that, hey, you left the headlights on when you open the door. But also, sometimes I just climbed directly from the driver's seat into the back of the rig, so I wouldn't even hear the dinger anyways, even if it dinged, if it were to ding when I opened the door. So anyways, I made the battery die, and then I waited for days to jump it, and I finally jumped it, and now it's running again perfectly fine. Thanks to my brother and his little battery-powered jump starter thingy-majiggy. I need to get myself one of those. Speaking of, maybe that should be on the list this week. Research. If y'all have any recommendations, let me know. I like his. It's a tiny little portable thing that can jump your vehicle, but I want to get an actual like big piece of something that I can, plug in my electricity and actually run my water pump and maybe charge my laptop and different things. Just in case, if I'm like off the grid, then I don't have to plug into somebody's electricity at a campsite or wherever. So that's one thing for next week. Going back to this past week, other thing I wanted to do was clean out the house. I lived at my parents' house for quite some time and had to clean out my junk, finish moving into my rig, and I did that. Feels good to I still have, the stuff is in a pile, but it's all packed up, ready to go out the door. I need to figure out where to put that. Task number 2 for this coming week. Where am I putting my stuff? And task number 3 for this week, where am I going to park once I leave my parents' yard? I did spend the Labor Day weekend in several different parking spots, which was very fun, very interesting, and I am very glad that I got out of my comfort zone this past weekend. But I would like to either stay at a place for a week and just be stationary and or just go somewhere, find somewhere else to stay, see some new places. And I've been discovering that I keep thinking, oh, I'll have time for that tomorrow, or oh, I'll have time for that whenever, or what. Honestly, it is just mind-blowing how much your time can just go and go and go and go. Even I don't have my kids with me right now. And when I have the kids, it's like time is lickety split. And so I was expecting to have this time without the kids, oh, I'm gonna have so much time for all these things. But if you have that mindset of, oh, I have so much time for all these things, your time still goes lickety split. So I need to stop telling myself, oh, I'll have time for that tomorrow or later or whenever. And I need to just sit down and do the thing, because that's what I got really good at with when I have 2 little kids and I'm in charge of them for 24/7. You figure out really fast that you never have time tomorrow or whenever. It's no, if it takes 2 minutes, you just take 2 minutes right now to do the thing. You don't push it off, because then you have all these pile of things that you kept pushing off and you're never gonna get to any of them. Task number 4, I need to buy a few last items. I need a hot pad. There's some things that I want to craft. I want to just craft it, make my own. I can make a hot pad. I can make curtains. I can make, I can finish my rug, but there are a couple things that I do need to buy, like a spatula and a pan and a cutting board and a bread cutting knife. I think those are the 4 main things that I discovered that I need. Oh, maybe a bigger size bowl, but I need to figure out a size bowl that's actually going to fit in one of my cupboards, because this place just gets full. Like, if there's not a spot for something, like, check this out, okay? Jacket drying on the fridge, clothes drying on the chair, ukulele sitting there because it doesn't have a spot, just towel drying on the window, workout clothes that aren't quite dirty enough for the dirty basket, but I'm not going to put them in the cupboard. So, like, drying, I guess, from my sweat. My water jug kind of lives there. And that basket, oh, I need to take care of that basket. I have a broken plant pot in that basket. So, of course, moving from a large house, like way bigger than I ever needed for me and my kids, to this little tiny space, even though it's from, I don't have my kids with me right now in here, on my own, but it's still like, okay, there is all this extra space for all this stuff. You can put it anywhere. It doesn't matter. There's plenty of room. And now I'm like in this little space where I'm like, okay, obviously there's so many kinks to figure out, like, where am I going to put my jacket when it's raining and my jacket got soaked. And so I need to hang it to dry. Yeah, things need to be figured out still. We're still working out the kinks, but I'm having fun with it. It's a good challenge. I think all of those things that I mentioned that I need to do this coming week are like little task things that are kind of just like to-dos. They're not necessarily pushing me forward towards like goals. One other thing that I said I was going to do last week is try to get back on my workout game. I worked out, I forgot to write it down. So I wrote down 2 of the days. I'm pretty sure I worked out 3 times. I aim to do better this week. Man, it's another one of those things that you're like, when I have time, I'll work out. But you know what? Even Jocko Willink, who's a huge Navy SEAL, retired Navy SEAL, like big, buff, scary looking dude, sometimes he works out for 8 minutes. If that's all he's got, that's all he's got. So it's possible. It's possible to keep it even if you're super busy. Okay, even if it's 8 minutes. So work out. And then I want to do one other thing that's like interesting or fun or actually works me towards my goals. I am going to leave that open-ended and just kind of let myself determine what that is during the week. But I mean, moving into this rig and figuring out life in this rig has been definitely a whole thing towards my dreams. I mean, first of all, I've been dreaming of doing this forever, so like that's a whole dream in and of itself. But also it's the path and the journey of going through all these new things, which is expanding my comfort zone, challenging the comfort zone, figuring out who I am, what I like, and all these things. So it's all the journey and the actions, and the day-to-day is currently like my biggest working on my goals type of thing, if that makes sense. Let me know in the comments down below what y'all are doing. I haven't heard from you lately, so maybe that means I need to work on my YouTubing skills. Anyway, thanks for being here. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.